Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is me, your brother, your friend, Yimon Steven on the show. Yesterday, I think I remember I told you guys that I was going to come out there. There was a video I did while I was at the airport coming to Sweden, and I said I was going to do that. I was going to replay that video and do some analysis on that very particular video I did some time ago. So I'm here this morning to actually talk about that video. So I want us to understand something from that very particular video that your inability, not to speak good English does not actually does it make you uneducated or what? So that's going to be my talk today, and I have a lot of things I put in there that I cannot see over again, So I had to just like upload that video, then play the video over, and then have a very well articulate, discussion on it. Your inability for you to speak good English makes you uneducated. That was a question I have to ask in that show. The reason why I did that video, or the way I'm bringing up this video again, for all to know that, in the Nigerian, setting today, we are very concerned about the school where you go, how many certificates you get, how many qualifications do you have, and all that and that. And that is why today many of our educated graduates today in Nigeria, the one they call educated people, cannot even cannot even differentiate, a BSc. There was a guy who was asking a BSc from wherever it is. They don't even know the full meaning of a BSc, a BA, or whatever. So that actually shows that the paper qualification that we actually exhibit today in Nigeria cannot be compared, to what we call education. Now, I did a video a few days ago, on the Benin said that we can move Benin forward, and I remember in that video I made it very clear and simple that we can actually build an Edo of our choice by the way and manner we actually treat and do things. And I believe that maybe one of these days also I'm going to upload that video again. I think I didn't put it up on the Nigeria Watch YouTube because I just did it, like a freestyle kind of. I'm going to also talk about it. So I wanted to just guys listen to this very short video that I did myself, that I'm going to upload for you guys to actually listen today, and maybe from there you can be able to get a lot of sense from what I said in that very particular video, guys. I want you all to just maybe share this video right now where you are, wherever you are. Please just press your share button. Let's share this video. Let's actually listen to this very wonderful talk today. A little bit more educated and a little bit funny also. You guys know me before. I'm a very funny guy when I'm happy. I say when I'm pissed off, that is where I react very irrational. But when I'm happy, you see, I'm very funny. I talk a lot and I make fun. Please, Israel, can you share this to our WhatsApp group, please? Israel, share this to our WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, sir. Please just kindly share this video wherever you are. Share it to every WhatsApp group. Any way you want to, just share them. Let us actually come here and get some fat up. If you listen to this video, it's interesting, it is educative, and I believe it will pass something across to us for us to actually understand how we can move our state, ourselves forward. And this will help us a lot. Okay, guys. So let's go as I play this very uploaded video of me. I'm set to jump now, so I just need to put this question out. I've actually been studying a lot of things in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, and I found out that there are a lot of things that our people say that is not actually true, and that brought me to this very particular question: is it not good in English? Not grammatically correct? Makes you uneducated? Or makes you an illiterate? That's a question that I'm putting forward this morning in the next 20 minutes that before I jump, on the ship. Many of us believes if you can't speak good English, many of us they believe say if you know if you talk better English, the one they call correct English, Let me say you don't know go school. I don't know what you think, guys, but I'm going to give my own opinion. English language is a borrowed language. English is not our mother tongue. Actually, in Nigeria today, one language that everybody understood properly is the Pidgin English. Now, the Pidgin English is an English not spoken well as a result of it being not your personal dialect. Okay, guys? So, just like when the white men came to Nigeria,
Hello, Baba.
they started changing our languages because they could not pronounce it well. They began to pronounce it, and whatever they pronounce it to be was what they call it to be today. Like Ubini, it was corrupted to be Bini. And many other languages or many other words in our dialect that was corrupted by the white people. Now, if you see a Swedish guy speaking English, he speaks a lot of jargon. Even the worst guy in Nigeria speaks better English than most of the Swedish educated person. I live amongst them. That doesn't make them illiterate. That doesn't make them uneducated. That doesn't make them bunch of that doesn't make them bunch of idiots. So you talking good English, speaking good English, having the command of English doesn't make you better than one who can actually speak their language. Okay? This is where we need to actually draw the line if Africa must move forward. Okay, guys? Do you know in the French colony,
Now, guys, the reason for this video today is actually to refrain our minds as Africans, particularly as Nigerians, who feel that not having the command of good English makes you uneducated. Okay, and that sometimes gets me want to just go off. The reason is, if you check the most developed world today, are actually the non-English speaking countries. Go to China today, it's easier for you to actually learn your dialect and talk in your own dialect. Okay? It's just simple. So the communication can be mutual between you and people you are communicating with. Okay? If you have this very strong command of English, like I do, sometimes yet people tell me, Steve, what are you saying? We don't even understand you. Can you come down to our level? Because I am trying to maybe to impress people that okay, I have command, of the English words. So then I'm a little bit I'm a super king. You know now. So it's just like, I feel say because as I be speak the English language, it can't make me feel say na me na be the oga. It not make me feel as if na me go school pass who no go school. It can make me feel like you say, okay, me will sabi talk English, so na me be the person wey be say actually know everything. But don't wanna lie. That one a pure lie, my brothers. English so na borrow we borrow am. So that the pain will be say our children now not fit speak our own language anymore. Our children not fit talk our own language by themselves in this world we dey. So it's sometimes it pain me for heart. So we not fit talk our own language today. Your pikin not fit write Bini, you not fit speak Bini, you not fit read Bini, or Edo language as it's called. And some of us gonna do, say, my people the year, my people they speak good English. As if say English now your mother tongue. Listen, from today, anything we are speak for this show, now my own be that. It doesn't change the fact whether I'm educated or I'm an illiterate. It doesn't change the fact at all. So the word you use, we call the command of English, has actually nothing to do with us as a person. If you hear these people they speak English today, this kind of way I am today, educated people with professors, their English is like cut and nail. They will put them together. But when it comes to inventions, when it comes to creativity, these guys are one in a million. Then why are we running after to speak the word and not being able to actually put the word we are speaking into good or proper use as a people? That's the problem for Nigeria. Until we start learning where our problem is start, we will never progress as Africans. Those people they speak French now. If you're not speak French well, you are not you're a good Cameroonian or Senegalese or wherever the country they come from. They don't always be Anglophone. If you know they speak English well, this guy not go school at all. You look at his English very poor. So we say that one is Yoruba English, that one is Igbo English, that one is Hausa English, that one is Benin English. My brother, if I dey speak English, you don't know where I from come, I don't lost. When China man they speak English, you go know say na China man. When German man they speak English, you go know say na German man. When Americans they speak English, you go know say this one American. When British they speak English, you go know say this is a British man. When Scottish they speak English, Scottish. When London they speak English, this is London. When Scottish they speak, you know say this one Scottish man, even from the United Kingdom. So if Igbo man speak English, you must know this man is an Igbo man. This man is an Edo man. This man is an Isha man. This man is an Hausa man. This man is a Yoruba man. If you not feel differentiate one from another, you don't lost with that, my brother. That is a reason for today's show. Okay, guys, just let's continue. Countries today in Africa, they were actually forced to abandon their language and speak French. That is why development has become very difficult today. Okay, it will be more easier if we can actually communicate with what we understand properly. I live in Sweden. I speak their language, but not as good as they ought to have done. Now, what happens? There are some times when I'm trying to communicate with these people who do not understand English. There are some words that become difficult for me to say because it's a little bit hard. It's a borrowed language, guys. So my communication is cut short. Now there is a level I can go in trying to communicate with these people as a result of my ability to speak the language fluently. That can also disturb productivity, guys. I see sometimes when people speak pidgin English, we begin to say, oh, this guy is uneducated, this guy grammatical construction is bad, blah, 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 blah. Guys, I speak the language also. But I have come to realize what you say cannot be determined by what you have upstairs. There's one of our sisters that lives in London who is very good in grammatical construction. She speaks fluently the British, accent of English, but she can't write it down. There are so many British people today who speaks English, just like we have so very many, Edos who speak Edo but can't write it. The same there. But when you meet them, you think these guys are, you think they have all it takes, guys. to do what they are doing. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, you think that they have what all it takes, but when you get close to the find that they can only just speak the language because that is their dialect. Okay, I will advise even the government of Nigeria to actually put in place what we call remodify, redefine, rearrange the general language that everybody understands in Africa today, which is the Pidgin English. The Pidgin English. Make it to be part of our curriculum. Let people not be disrespected because they cannot actually, speak fluently the borrowed language of the Englishman. Okay, guys? You see the Chinese people, look at the Japanese people, look at most of the people from the Asia continent. They head onto their language. They speak their language up to tomorrow. They have refused to abandon their mother dialect for English. They go to UN. They tell them, I'm going to speak my language. And what did UN does? They give them, the ability to now have what they call an interpreter. We need to grow right now, guys. Enough of castigation and stigmatization as a result of people not being able to speak the borrowed, British language fluently. Many of us today who are very good, in grammatical expression of the borrowed language, we can't even speak our dialect anymore. We are actually the illiterate here right now, guys. Not those who can speak their dialect fluently and can speak what others can understand. How many people, guys, can actually comprehend what I say? In a real sense of it all, how many people can actually comprehend what humanity says sometimes? I've read comments when people say, come on, guy, can you just go down a little bit with your grammatical expressions? I was communicating, but I'm communicating to very few people. But if maybe I was able to speak a language, there was a day somebody asked me to speak Benin, and I went into my dialect, I found out that the number of people that was actually watching me increased dramatically. To a very certain extent, I was having about 100 and something people viewing me live on that show. Why was that? Because many people who could not comprehend, my grammatical expression was able to now understand deep and perfect what I was saying because I had to go into my personal dialect. So when people begin to mock others because of errors in the language that they speak, I'm here to say today, you're not different from them, guy. It's a borrowed language. You don't even have a need to learn it perfectly, if not because we have actually lost our identity as a people. No need. All they would have done is just to say, okay, speak it just for communication purpose and have an in-depth understanding of your personal dialect or wherever that the Nigerian government would choose as our, unifying language. Okay, guys. So you don't speak good English doesn't make you an illiterate. There's also very many people who speak English fluently, but yet they are illiterates. You did not go to school doesn't make you an illiterate. That's one thing we also need to understand also. School today in the African section of the Nigerian form is only when you actually attend, a formal education. But they have actually forgotten also that vocational studies are also part of education. We throw this away. You see a mechanic say this guy is not educated. You see a carpenter say he's not educated. You see a farmer say he's not educated. That is wrong assumptions. Because it can't communicate, it can't flow with you, on that pedestal of vocabularies. You don't think, oh, this one is not educated. I think for us to actually develop as a people, There are a lot of things we need to start learning or understanding about the way life is being run. Education never ends in the four walls of the classroom. It goes beyond that. Any form of training of whatsoever is a form of education. Any form. Where a certificate has not been issued, you are educated. That's why you now have it, the vocational and the normal educational system. Okay? What the developed world is as a result of this mindset that I'm putting before you guys. Somebody say most of our social media influencers are uneducated. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they are uneducated. They might be uneducated, not because they can't speak good English that makes them uneducated. That's what I don't believe in. I believe they can be illiterates because of the knowledge that they have. Not because they can speak good, simple, and grammatically correct English. So if that is your mindset of them being uneducated, then you just missed the point. Because the English which we speak today is a borrowed language, not ours. So if it's not my language, I might not be able to speak the language so fluently like the way you expect me to do. So if I don't speak the language fluently, as you presume me to have done, that doesn't make me an illiterate. Okay? And also there are different levels of education, guys. There are different levels of education. We want you to get this clearly. That is why when you go to school, you have the GS1, no, you have the primary 1 to primary 6, and you have a certificate. The first school living certificate. You are a graduate of the first school living certificate. That was why, in the time of our fathers, when one finishes primary school, is automatically qualified for an employment. Then you move over again to GS1, GS2, GS3. Then you not do an exam, you now have another certificate, the one they call the junior secondary certificate. So at this point in time, you have upgraded your level of education from the primary basis to the junior secondary basis. Then you now move again to now do the one we call the SSC today, which is the WAEC. You now also get another certificate. So in each of these stages, you are a graduate. But a graduate of what? The first living certificate is a graduate of a primary school. It's a graduate of a primary school. The second one is a graduate of a junior secondary school. And the third is a graduate of a senior secondary school. Which will not take you to the next, to be a polytechnic graduate or university graduate. In all of these, there is a level of education. So when you not say this guy is not educated because he actually finished secondary school, you're wrong, guy. He is educated. He is a graduate of the senior secondary school. It's not because of the level of educational setting today. A senior secondary school guy ought to have been teaching in a school just the way it was many years back. Because the education is so bad and porous right now, then even some graduates can't even communicate fluently as it ought to be. So that makes some of us feel he's not educated because he can't speak good English. He's not educated because he never went into a university. Do you know when you go to university, you have the OND, you have the HND, you have the BSc, you have the master's degree, you now have the doctorate degree, you now become the professorship. So all these are all processes, steps in education. Are you going to tell me a BSc is a graduate? Whereas there is a qualification that is bigger than the BSc, which is the master's. You see that now? It's just the same way also. From the primary school certificate down to the professorship. Everybody has a grade. You grow along the line. And let me say something, guys. Your educational qualification is not determined by the fluentness of your grammatical expression. Your qualification ought to be determined by your know-how of what you read in school. If you read English and literature, mass communication, international relations, then you ought to talk in a very, very, wonderful manner that people ought to listen to you. But if you are an engineer, you don't give a hoot about grammatical construction. Just go do your job, go into the lab, do the right thing, make things workable, put the right thing aside, and you are done. Facebook owner was never educated according to your standard of education. Was actually a school dropout. Microsoft owner was never educated according to your standard. It was just a school dropout. The man who invented electricity, Michael Faraday, was never educated according to your standard. It was just a school dropout. But yet, these guys today, their books are now being read by professors in these fields. The question is now, who is actually educated among the professors that reads or uses the textbook written by an uneducated guy to now teach and form the basis of his principle of the subject? Africa needs to wake up. We are using a borrowed language. I'm not saying English should be thrown off. No. I'm just saying we are using a borrowed language. We should try to understand what is the best way we can communicate without having issues with one another. If you are good in pidgin English, guy, don't go out of it. Continue speaking it. That is what you believe in. That doesn't make you less of a human. That doesn't make you uneducated. Rather, that makes you a little more better in the expression of yourself when the need arises. If you are good in your dialect, that you know people you are communicating with actually understood what you're saying, bros, sister, continue with it. Deal with your dialect. That is your area of strength. Education is about your area of strength. That is why when you're in secondary school, when you're in JSS3, they'll ask you which course you want to read. You want to become a science student, social science, or art. Now you pick your area of choice as a result of your area of strength. Now, if you decide to become, a science student, now when you get to SS3, so you're about going to university also, you also have to make a choice from all the science courses. Why? Maybe you are not good in math. Then you don't want to go to anything that has to do with engineering. You have to throw that away. Maybe you're very good in biology and chemistry. You go for medicine. So you are also going to this area you are going to as a result of your area of strength. So, guys, you understand what I'm saying right now? So don't be carried away by this brouhaha about educated or not educated. We are all educated in different grades and levels. Some of us did not even go to school at all, but we went into vocational. We are actually educated also in our fields. That is why a medical doctor will take his car to a mechanic. A medical doctor will ask a bricklayer to come and build his house. He will put his trust on a bricklayer to lay his foundation from the ground to finishing. Where are you going to pack your family, pack your property in? You are putting your trust on them that it's not going to collapse. Why? Because they know what they are doing. So such a bricklayer is an educated guy. Might be an informal education, but he's educated. He knows the quantity of cement mixed with sand and the quantity of water that will be applied to give you a good, molds that ought to be used in setting up whatever they are doing. Okay, guys. So, stop calling people uneducated because they can't speak in good English or because they can't write good English. Stop calling people uneducated because they've not gone to university. It's a wrong statement, and most of the time it's being even done by those of us who are actually educated, who claim to be educated, who have gone through the four walls of the classroom, who needs to have understood what is the difference between being educated and not being educated. Until we start putting all this perspective in place, we will not be able to actually get the right way to go as a people. That's what we know. That's why we put all these jargons into. And at the end of the day, they are worse than even the one we call an illiterate. Okay, guys. Yesterday I saw Tony Kabakas to become the youth leader of APC in Edo State, and I saw people blasting him. This uneducated guy, and I sat down and I think, you guys know Tony Kabaka is not actually my friend. It's not in my good book. Okay, so it's okay because it's good book. You want to praise him now? It's not. You guys know that. So he's my big brother. Anytime I see him, I greet him. But we are not like that friend. When I started to think of it, so this guy, they call illiterate, they call educated today, who is able to carry along over 10,000 boys in Edo State before now, under the Kobe Ventures. This guy, they call an illiterate, has been able to raise many educated people, pick them from the gutters and make them somebody. This guy, they call an illiterate, has been able to pass across his message to the world in the language that he speaks best. And I said, how can he be uneducated? Is it because he cannot speak good English? Is it because they said he didn't finish his secondary school, he didn't go to university? Why do they think Tony Kabaka is uneducated? He said, to me, he's educated to his own perspective. He has what it takes to lead the people. I'm not saying you vote for him, guy. That's not what I'm saying. Voting people into power has nothing to do with education. It has also to do with the personality of the person who is involved. You want him to come in based on his character? That's it. Politics have to be based on character, not the qualification that you possess. Character. You have what it takes, the mental capability to actually occupy such a position and deliver on the promises that you're going to promise the people. That's the difference for me. If you have that, then we are good to go. But if that is not there, then it's a little bit difficult. So education is not about the class or the class of your qualification. Education is about you being able to do what you ought to do, whether you are good in English or not. But having the ability to deliver on the necessity of life makes you an educated person. Thank you, guys. I need to run right now because my time is up. And by the grace of God, I'll be flying right now. I'm leaving this country right away. Okay, guys. So see you when I come back again in the next few months. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all. Bye for now. Sorry, guys. That was me. That was me there. I did that on my way, to the airport. I think the morning I was about to fly, that was the morning I actually did that video right at the hotel room where I lodged, in the night because I missed my flight. Like I said, I missed my flight. So I had to return to the hotel, lodge in the hotel for one night. Then before I had to take my flight back to Sweden. Now, let me try to explain a little bit more on that. That very particular video you saw there does not actually try to downgrade ability to speak. Okay, like I said, we are not actually growing faster in the way we should go because we are trying to force what we can't actually do better on ourselves. At least many of us went to school. I remember then where I was in secondary school, my mathematics teacher was a guru when it comes to maths, but his English construction is bad. But he was a genius. He has 2001 different ways of him doing a mathematical problem. But his command of English wasn't pleasant. I have also one of my lecturer when I was in Warri doing a part-time program on petroleum economics. The guy was our economics teacher, was actually teaching the economics 101 then. He was an Igbo guy, but this guy knows what he's saying so perfectly well. But when he speaks, there's always a mixed up with the Igbo's tonation and dialect that if you don't put your ear down very well, you cannot be able to get in clearly. But if he's doing the normal job that involves him to put it on the board, the guy is wonderfully okay. Based on these two scenarios that I've just cited as an example, you will understand that we have actually had what we call a reduction or a decline in our development as a result of the means of communication. Many of our people have actually signed up some contracts because lack of the understanding of the words that make up the very particular contract. So it makes it a little bit difficult for them to understand. So what they do is they just write anything on it and they are good to go. Okay, guys. So and that is actually also worrisome also. But if we now have to choose a generally accepted model of communication, it will speedy, I repeat, it will speedy our developmental strive as a people. Let me give you an example. We have the Canadian English. We have the Australian English. We have the American English. And we have the British English, which is the original dialect of the British people. Okay? So when the British man is speaking, the Americans had it difficult to understand. Just the same way when the American is speaking their own. Let me tell you, those slangs you see that American speaks, they're actually pidgin English. They're actually pidgin English. Those slangs you hear them speak in America, even while they're in their parliaments, you hear them speak, is actually the pidgin English. Pidgin English. It's the inability for them to understand. They have to come in with slangs just to make it look beautiful. Just like what we have today in Warri. If you're going to Warri today, you're going to hear a pidgin English that will blow your mind off. And these are things that nearly everybody, our grandmother in the village understands that. The people who called that did not actually go to the 4 walls of the classroom understands that. So we must adopt a model that is workable for all. That is the first way, the first point to development in every or in any society. I think my sister said something here. Let me take this up. Let me take this. There's a question my sister asked here, Irene. Let me explain that a little bit. Sorry, guys. Let me explain that a little bit. There's a question she asked here about. She threw up a question for me there, or was it a contribution or a question? Yeah, she said, Nigeria, yes, but we are from a country where our first language is English. No, our first language is not English. Our first language is Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Bini. But our official language is English. That was forced on us by the colonial masters. So that's why they teach in our schools with English. So if you are educated, you should be able to speak good English and your dialect. This is where the problem is. First and foremost, we are forced to speak the language that was not ours. So it becomes difficult for us to actually understand the language properly. Like I just said now, I have people who actually live in this country who are not Swedish, who are from Africa. The truth of the matter is, they were even born here. Not all of them can actually speak the language fluently. Just like if you lived in Germany, it's just the same way. It becomes a little bit difficult for you to comprehend the language. Because the people who are teaching you the language are not also masters in the language. You get it now? People who are teaching the language are not also masters in the language. And when you are not master in a language, and you are teaching someone a language that you are not master in, you're going to make the new guy you are teaching to be worse than the old guy. That's the truth of the matter there. But if what you are teaching me is what you actually understand in total, then it's a little bit easier for you to communicate with me properly for my consumption. Okay, guys? And number two is this. Do you know when you speak this language, few people understand you. Language is a means of communication. So language was not supposed to be the English language today now. This English language today was not supposed to be for everybody. No. It's not supposed to be for everybody. It's supposed to be for some selected few who actually went through the walls of a classroom. Get it now? My grandmother in the village can speak English because she never went to school. But an English woman who never went to school can speak English fluently. And an American woman never went to school can speak the American dialect fluently. A French woman never went to school can speak the French dialect fluently. So the first bus stop is the ability for you to communicate for others to understand you. That is what makes it an accepted first language. But being an official language in the offices, do you know in Sweden today they have two languages they speak in the office? They have two languages they speak in the office in Sweden. They have the Swedish language and they have the English language. They speak the Swedish, which is their first dialect. Then they don't have English language, which is their second official language. So when you go to an office, for example, when you are talking to them, they'll ask you, du kan inte prata bra svenska, du kan blanda med du kan inte prata bra svenska, du kan blanda med engelska. That is, if you cannot speak good Swedish, you can mix it up with English. They will understand you. But they want you to try and speak their first language, what? Their dialect. That's what we're talking about right now. Because if we actually decide to pick up our own English, just like the way the Americans pick up their own English, just like the way the Canadians and the Australians picked up their own English. And it was completely different from the original owner of the English. We have also been able to model our English via the system that we operate, which is now called the Pidgin English. If we can decide to now, model on it and make it to become an official language in our offices, we'll do better. Do you know why? Because our mothers in the village understands the Pidgin English language. Even the Hausas we think are not educated. Even the Hausas we think that are not educated actually understands the Pidgin English language. Just okay. Even the Hausas, they will understand the Pidgin English. So it will not become, for everyone. Then when a senator when a senator is going to the village, what does he speak? He speaks Igbo. He speaks Yoruba. He speaks Hausa. Why? Because it is the largest means of communication, not English. Okay? That's the largest means of communication, not English. Why do they do that? Because they understand that English is a borrowed language that belongs to the white man, not our own dialect. It was forced on us by the British people. Yes, it was forced on us. So we accepted it because we have no choice. Because that is their only way of communications at that time. So they have to make sure that we follow what they told us. Even the Indians speaks English, but they makes their language official over English language. This is where we are missing it, guys. The Indian people, they speak English, but the Indian people makes their language official and English as the second language. Okay, guys? So we must understand your inability not to speak good English does not make you uneducated. Education is not about the paper certificate that you acquire. Education is actually about the ability for you to communicate properly in a language that you understand, and also to deliver on some certain things that you ought to do. That's education. So that's why you have the formal education, like I said, and the informal education. They are all educated people. Not because you have a degree, you're a professor, that you are educated. No, everyone from primary 6 to being a professor, they are all educated in their own different levels. So a society will not be determined by what they're going to accept as an education. That is why in Sweden here, for example, now, when they finish it from their, I think, grade now, so they do a graduation. Then when they do finish with their gymnasium, they do a graduation. They now move to what they call their high school. When they finish, they do a graduation. They will now move to university yet. They do a graduation. Before you now go to do your masters, your PhDs and all that. You see, in all these stages, if you finish there, you want to stop working there, you have a certificate to find a certain job. that you can be able to do based on your qualification. So then you aren't an illiterate or uneducated. You're actually educated to a certain level. We must begin to make people to feel okay. You went to go and learn how to do mechanic, and at the end of the day, your guy will give you a certificate. Your guy will give you a certificate that you've graduated and you've qualified after spending 4 or 5 years, on that job. You are now qualified to begin your own, shop. You just graduated. What they call freedom. You just graduated. We all have freedoms. When you finish primary 6, you have freedom. That's why they give you a certificate. You are free from this school. So you can never go back to primary 6 again. When you finish JSS3, you pass, they'll give you a certificate. You just had freedom. You are free. The same thing to wherever position you find yourself. So these guys are also educated in their own qualification. So that victimization, that intimidation, that separation, we need to clear it off. There was a time before an HND could be compared to BSc in Nigeria. There was a time an HND can be compared to BSc in Nigeria. That is a show that we are actually missing it. Okay, guys? You get it now? So this one thing we all must know, and we all must continually to accept that very particular fact. Okay, guys? So tonight, 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to have our normal regular show where we are going to talk about a lot of things. Just 1 minute, guys. So we're going to talk about a lot of things that on question and answer with Human Steven and all that. I made a video yesterday. I am trying to see if I can be able to upload it here, but I think it's becoming difficult for me to do. The video I made yesterday that I was thinking I can be able to upload on this wall. Let me just hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can upload this video. I want to put these two videos together today. Let me see if I can. But it's a little bit tough for me to upload it here. I don't know why. Let me see. Maybe I take it to, let me see if I can do it here and upload it from this place. If it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work because it's a large file. Okay, it's not going to work, guys. And it's not working to go to the let me see if this can go. So later today in the evening today by 7 p.m. we're going to do the question and answer with Human Steven on how to make Edo State great again. With this we will talk a lot about a lot of things. Please, guys, do not forget to join us later tonight by 7 p.m. Let's discuss. Come with your questions. Can be your politics, business, and not that and that. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying now. So it shouldn't be that if I cannot speak it very well, it should not make me like we say, if you hear that man, see broken, the guy you're not broken. All it's the grammatically not correct. No, they should not make us look as if we don't know what we are doing. Just if you can be able to comprehend them and understand what they're saying, it works better for us. So you can pass message across. Like when Kola is speaking now, Kola is speaking now. I don't understand sometimes. When this guy, what is the name of this man? Messi. This man, Patrick Abayabon. Igodo. When he's speaking, you can't even comprehend what he's saying. Why? Because it's not actually passing on information. Okay, guys? It's not actually passing on information. So it makes it a little bit difficult for any one of us to understand his argument. That's the truth. He's not speaking what we understand. So it makes it very, very difficult to understand what he's trying to explain to any one of us. So, but if actually we now speak a language that is fluently to us, is understandable to everyone. Even our mothers in the village can be able to understand what we are saying, and they will be able to actually, get, clear comprehension, and then you see them working according to the dictates of what we are putting before them. But the situation whereby we just speak and speak and speak and speak because we want to babble the society, and at the end of the day, we are only communicating with few individuals in the society. There is no way development can actually work in such an environment. That's the truth of the matter there. So you can see, guys, that one of the reasons why Africa is not developing, Nigeria in particular, is because we took English as a language that the only way you can be able to be seen and recognized as one who had actually uh, done well is when you are able to communicate in a language that is not even yours. Okay, guys. So that we must try as much as possible to disassociate from our minds that we are not speaking the language because that is the only way we can communicate. Okay, guys. So that is my take right now on that very particular topic. So my take is, let's try to speak the language that we know we can be able to understand, and let's see how we can speak and be able to communicate with others. Okay, that will help us a lot in whatever we do. Okay, guys. So while I wait, there's a video I did yesterday. I'm trying to look for it. There's a video I did. It was a very wonderful video on some of these things. Okay, I did. It's gonna do. I want to play together to this moment so that I can have it more. Let me try to put my charger on. So that I did that video yesterday or so. Then I don't know what was happening with my network. I did the video yesterday. It's a very nice video that I think we can actually listen to, guys. Okay, let me see if I can get the title of that video out. I did it on my page. I think I did it on so I'm just seeing that coming. See if I can be able to get that in. See, so if I can't, I will just download it. Then maybe I will upload it later, either tomorrow. Just a topic that I need to talk on. So let's check if there are questions there. Yeah. Yaba different language in the world to confuse the citizen. All its words does not have a place in the English dictionary. Yeah, what he's trying to do is trying to create his English. That's what I'm saying now. He's just trying to create his own English. Trying to create his own English by then bamboozling everyone, believing that he's actually communicating. Whereas in the real sense of it, it does not have any form of communication to the ear or the mind of the people. Okay? But you just feel that I'm communicating, I'm speaking to people, and they just have to understand what I'm saying. Okay, and that is that. We almost understand how we can be able to do this very properly so that and our people can move better than what it is. Yeah, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Mr. Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you are on live. I just wanted to emphasize on what I said.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's very my people, good afternoon, wherever you are calling from. What Mr. Steven is saying is absolutely true. A lot of us has been confused because people just think that our inability to speak English does not mean it means that we are uneducated. No. Sometimes some people that are uneducated, their level of common sense is worth more than somebody who is educated. My take is the common sense of each and every individual varies from one end to the other. Because some people, like what he just said now, like one of our person that I just spoke about, speaking English, recently, last 2 years or something about, he was talking in Unilag, speaking with educated youth, with different languages. When you ask him a simple question, what do you think that the Nigerian economy can be in the next 4 years. You see him saying the words, let me say prestissimo. Now, anybody that looks at that word prestissimo, an Italian person will just laugh at you, because the word prestissimo is taken from the word presto. In Italian language means early. So he will speak from one language to the other, using it to confuse the citizen with nonsense. And thereby the citizens will think he's very educated. This is where we find ourselves. Just use the word, just explain to them into what they can understand, a common language, how these people can learn. You see, a lot of the students were they were carried away. He comes out with Facebooking, WhatsApping, nonsense. Just speak on the level of English. That's why some of these things, they use it to confuse us, and they went to National Assembly, came back with an empty Ghana must go. Why the same constituency they represent, we are still swimming in poverty of that of the Bermuda Triangle, which the same language he's using. So most of these things we are saying today that Mr. Stephen is saying is actually true. Me that you are talking today, if I tell you my own story, you are going to be amazed. But going abroad, I came to learn a lot of things that I'm using to educate the little one I know, to educate my own fellow citizen on what to do. Because some of us are carried away with some kind of English that some people are speaking. Don't be carried away. Just try to check the fact. Because all these people that comes in, they are speaking different because they travel abroad. They know some of these languages little by little. So they can pick all of them and try to use it in an English word. Whereby his English that he's speaking does not have a place in the Oxford Dictionary. So that's my take, my people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Irene said, Mr. Stephen, even at that, I am still very much in support of education. I think we should encourage it. No, Sister Irene, I'm encouraging education perfectly well. Perfectly well. I'm not discouraging education at all. It's one thing that we almost do. But what I'm trying to say is this: education is on different levels. They can start teaching us education even using our own dialect. That's what I'm saying. Do you know many of the professors in the North today are educated, but the English command is zero. They went to school. Yeah, they went to the same school that you and I went to, but the English command is zero because we actually taught in Hausa language. You know what? They are not performing so very well within the periphery of Nigerian state because of the English that is involved. The governor of Borno State is a professor. But when he talks, you know that guy, to our own standard, we say it's not educated. We call it quota system. But is that the truth? No, because they are still trying to hold on to their outside language kind of a thing. So if they allow them to speak in outside, go to school, you're going to have more people educated in the North than they are right now. But why are they failing to be educated? Because there is a borrowed language that be put on them. It's not restraining them from actually exhibiting their full potential. Their full potential as a people. So that is the problem. Okay, that is the problem that we're having right now. You understand that man? That is the problem we're having right now. So there will be a constraint in you actually exhibiting who you are because of your inability to communicate properly. Like the guy was speaking yesterday, the guy was talking about the budget that I played yesterday in the show. The guy was actually expressing himself. He was speaking yesterday, and his communication skills were all based on how much can communicate. But it was difficult. But the guy was not ready to listen to anyone. He was just saying what he needs to say to pass across the information to the people. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm talking about now. To ability to communicate, so that everyone will understand you, makes the difference, guys. That's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying. This is the same thing we are saying now. This is what the same thing we are talking about now, Styrene. So when I speak my English and it's mixed with Benin, you need to understand me. Because that's my dialect. That's my first language. That's my mother's tongue. So you don't say, oh, that guy is a Benin boy is talking. You can't say why? Say, don't you see his tonation? But when a Swedish man talks, you say, yeah, it's not an Englishman, it's a Swedish. But when a Nigerian talks, you say, no, that guy, look at his English. Very, very awkward English language. So it gives us problem. So let us begin to encourage our mother dialect, or even one language that we all can be able to communicate with without having issues. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. See you 7 o'clock tonight again as we do question and answer with Human Steven. Let's see how we can go for today's show. God bless you. Please share this video, give us some likes, share this video and give us some likes. Thank you, guys. God bless you. See you later in the evening.